Greetings and salutations. Welcome back. We're at level 18. Kobold, Hedge Wizard of Ashenzari. We're in the second level of the Spider Nest. We have not gotten any runes yet. We have cleared almost all of Dungeon, Orcish Mines, and then we dipped into the Elven Halls. We are having some pretty poor playing in the Elven Halls. We almost died in a Wiz Lab from a Grey Draconian Monk. We maybe could have killed them and explored the Wiz Lab, so we missed out on some treasure, which certainly would have been good to have. And then we almost died right after that. So anyhow, that's kind of why we're at where we're at right now. Right now with our skills, we're still pumping up conjurations, fire magic, dodging, shields. Part of the reason for the shield is that we found some kite shield, and it'd be really nice to use. So we're getting shields to 8, which should be enough for a buckler, and it'll be close enough for a kite shield. We're also boosting our evocations up, our fighting, spellcasting, and dodging. We're still getting evasion from our dodging. So, we just got a +1 pair of boots. So we actually could destroy something if we wanted to swap some stuff out. But we are fully cursed right now, so our skill boost is substantial. Substantial. So we successfully slowed this orb spider, and then 2 casts of hailstorm were enough to kill it. So we're going to be a little sneaky. We're going to try and stab stuff as much as we can, and that's kind of one of the benefits of the stealth that we have. And that was a key component in determining our play style. We've really not put really many points into short blades at all. There's kind of like better things to put our experience on at the moment. It might be nice to get some summoning or translocation, especially if we're to wear anything heavier than robes. So let's go ahead and put our summonings up a little bit. It should be okay for now. We have 3 spell levels, so that means we could get Lesser Beckoning. Swiftness. We're going to go ahead and hold on to these spell levels at the moment, though. We're going to use Frozen Ramparts, and then we're just going to lure these redbacks in one by one. It's basically it. Having the high stealth is nice. Having the astral sight is actually really nice, since we can see what's around us to an extent. And you gotta be careful. Tarantellas can confuse you. Wolf spiders do a surprising amount of damage. And then we also just kind of drew the ire of a pack of spiders. So we're going to put up Frozen Ramparts. And then we'll Hailstorm. We were, now we're going to Starburst. Except we summoned an Imp instead. So, what's up, White Imp? You want to come kill some stuff? One cast of Hailstorm will finish those redbacks off. It kind of seems like a bad name, like an insult. Call someone a redback. But they're spiders, their backs are red. So we probably should have used a potion of curing, but we knew that we weren't going to die alone from the poison, and we also suspected strongly, due to astral sight, that there was nothing around us. It may have been a bad decision, but it was an informed decision. Emperor Scorpion. Not something we're keen on fighting. Does a lot of damage. They could two-shot us if they got super lucky, because they hit 3 times, 30, 10, and 10. So what else is it with? I can't see, can't get close enough. Imp Hailstorm combo might not be too bad. We do 3d17 with Hailstorm, which is rather nice. Conjure Flame could actually be a really nice thing to use. Lightning Bolt could be nice. And Starburst, of course, to 6d12. When we first got it, it was 6d9. But the good news is that these enemies that look kind of a little more difficult, we'll just skip them for now. Yep, we'll just skip them. So we actually are going to use Conjure Flame right now, because we have a space between us and the Torpor now. We're slow to caught up to us. Alright, Frozen Ramparts it is. And we'll just kind of melee it down. That was pretty successful. And here's that Emperor Scorpion. It's really nice we came from this direction, huh? Like, for real. For real. Alright, Starburst. Let's Starburst again. Alright, that's a little scary. But we were able to take care of it. So we'll Frozen Ramparts. And then we'll Starburst several times and get this Broodmother dead. Basically used all of her mana. And one thing we're going to have to be careful about is whether or not we have See Invisible. Which we do, actually, because Ghost Moths are a extremely dangerous thing for this character, and you can find them in the spider nest. So we're just making our way through Spider Nest 2. Lots of little tunnels and caves. Found a Morning Star that gives us resist poison. Not really interested. If it had resist electricity and resist poison, we'd probably think about it. anything that's going to have a ton of resist, we're going to think about, especially knowing that we're a caster. We've made very, very little investment into our weapon skill, which basically means we have the freedom of having some flexibility. So try to make some more noise. Culicivora? Culicivora? Your spiders that can heal other spiders. Alright. Looks like we cleared that pack. Now we're on to a new pack. And we don't really know what's out there, but we will Hailstorm. Kill the Culicivora. Spark Wasp. That's pretty dangerous. There's not really anything worth casting. Guess we could try and freeze the Culicivora. Okay, cool. So, Hailstorm. How much health does it have? 66? And it blink bolts for 2d18. Hailstorm's probably a good choice, and then we'll Starburst. Starburst again. Okay, it did hit us for like 30 damage. We used all of our scroll of blinking, so we're gonna have to pick one of those up. Guess we could drop the enchant armor for now, since we don't have anything we want to use it on. We'll eventually want to use it. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Blinking is probably the most valuable thing we could find. So, let's see what Searing Ray does these days. 2d8. Searing Ray must have a high accuracy or something. Doesn't mention. Oh, look at its accuracy. It has the first grouping of 5, and then it has a plus. Whereas Starburst only has the first grouping of 5s. Hailstorm, I guess, always hits. And some of it bypasses cold resist, so that's cool. So we're going to use Mystic Blast on the crawler, but it doesn't look like it's backing it up. We do have a resist corrosion ring, but the thing is we don't really have a good way of swapping things. So we'll Starburst the Entropy Weaver 3 times. It's a lot of mana. We did get corroded. The corrosion for us, though, is less about damage output, and it's more about taking damage. The corrosion probably does not affect our spell accuracy. We can test that the next time. The only reason that would make me think is because corroded just says reducing your damage in physical combat and your armor. And the only reason I suspect it is that long ago, weapons used to have an accuracy rating, like the enchantment on a weapon had an accuracy component and a damage component. So you could have a -2 +5 weapon that was not as accurate but did lots more damage. And corrosion, I'm pretty sure at that time, affected both of those. And then it got merged into slaying. And I'm not sure exactly how it works. But based on the in-game description, there's no reason to suspect that corrosion affects your accuracy. And since it wouldn't affect your accuracy, it wouldn't affect your spell accuracy. But something like the Amulet of Inaccuracy do affect your spell success. I wish I was mistaken on that. Alright, so on to Spider 3. Get some nice passive mapping from Ashen Zari. Kind of cleared this first little cave that we spawn in. Peeking into the connecting caves. It looks pretty safe. Hey, another upstair. Still no enemies of any sort. Here's our third upstair, and it looks like there's 2 adjacent enemies. 3 adjacent. It's just a pack. It's just a pack of redbacks. Well, we can kill them in one cast of Hailstorm. Nice. Alright, so now we're up against several enemies. Normally I don't like to be up in a corner like this. It also has made us realize that if you have a spectral weapon, if you're backed alone in a corner, your specter will not be summoned. Alright, so we got some enemies here we haven't fought before on this run. We have a Pharaoh Ant that casts Bind Soul. It looks like that's a passive ability. And then it also hits for like 40 damage. They don't have much HP though. So we should be okay. Their evasion, like other spiders, is relatively high. So let's go ahead, we'll cast Frozen Ramparts and then a Starburst, and then as promised, we got a Simulacrum, which dodged our Starburst. That will kill it the next cast. And we'll rest up. Think about fighting more stuff. We have a pretty big gaggle of enemies over here that we can see due to Ashen Zari. And we have this nice little one-wide hallway. Kind of afraid of that steel barb worm. Let's see if we can stab it. That was probably overly risky. Yeah, same with being in a one-wide hallway. Your spectral weapon doesn't spawn if you're in an enclosed area. Since it needs, I guess it must need a spot that is adjacent both to you and the enemy you're attacking. That would be my guess. Alright, Entropy Weaver's coming back. No, decided not to come back. Should probably consider getting some more short blades, considering how cheap it is. Our rapier isn't even that good, it's just a +3 spectral rapier. I'm kind of trying to avoid putting experience into something unless it's going to be like, you know, mega good. 2, 3, 4 starbursts. That was scary. So Ashen's already gives you some nice insight. You kind of get an idea, especially on max piety, you get an idea on what's around you to aid you in your decision-making process. And at max piety, you actually have pretty good success at being able to see enemies. So it's not even that you'll be misled. Alright, so it looks like we have a pretty nice little kill area. Let's see, just for fun, can we summon a forest? Okay, we can. We'll cast Searing Ray on the Entropy Weaver, but it went out of sight, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and get an imp or two. Looks like they didn't... There's nothing good. A little hailstorm. Alright, that worked out pretty good. Did get poisoned, and the demonic crawler did notice us. Let's see if the dryad will take it out. That would be convenient. Okay, we're not going to move on that. But we will cast Starburst enough times. Oh no, there's another one. And there's a Pharaoh Ant. Okie dokes. We have pretty good chances of paralyzing. I think it's probably our best bet after we get in here. That's a Mind Blast. No, let's paralyze. Alright, come on. We could run away, but we're gonna take the stab. The demonic crawler has much higher magic resistance, so now we're gonna use our box of beasts, and we're gonna cast Frozen Ramparts. And our box of beasts, good use. Good use. We hardly took any damage. Any additional damage, we'd already taken, 60, 70 damage. As a kobold, you don't really have a lot of hit points available to you. So you have to be, like, perpetually scared. Alright, so now we got these Jorogumos. And they cast 3d20 Bolt of Draining. Yikes, if they melee you, it does 28 damage and it can paralyze you. So this is a significantly dangerous enemy. Although we would like the ability to stab it. Man, that's just scary. If we're going to go to stab it, we need to come down in this direction. And then that's actually what we'll do. We stab it. We cast Starburst. I'm just going to start on the Starburst on this Jorogumo. We're going to cast Mystic Blast, try and push it away, but it's really evading all of our spells. So we do have a lot of skills enabled at the moment. So our experience is a little slow, but all the things that we're training in, we do actually need. Arguably, we might not need our fighting anymore. Arguably, we may not need the dodging anymore, but we still are getting extra evasion. So we'll leave that on. The shields, we may not need to get that to 8. Probably stop at 7. Alright, so we got ourselves severely poisoned. Coming here with no fire resist is not really the smartest idea. So we picked up an Orb of Energy. What it does is sometimes it gives you a free spell cast. But there's also a chance that you get confused, where your intelligence is drained. So if you're only casting like big value spells, I think it's probably worth it. We kind of are too, like if we're just spamming Starburst. But I really don't like the idea of that, and I think I'd much rather use a shield. You have a Ring of Fire, which is kind of cool, especially because it would give us spell power on your fire. So that's a decent contender if we were to take off either a Ring of Flying or a Ring of Willpower. We have 2 Rings of Willpower, so if we ditch this one and go down to 2 pips instead of 3, and we lost our Resist Cold, we could probably get a little more damage out of our Starburst. Scroll of Acquirement, that's an immediate read. Check it out. We got ourselves a pretty sick Kite Shield. This Kite Shield speaks very, very strongly to us. First of all, it's +7. And it's going to be a bananas amount of shield rating for us. It has regen, which is extremely strong, especially given that we have a reduced amount of HP. And then the thing that's really cool about it is we get 4 intellect, 6 dexterity, and 4 strength. Strength doesn't do a whole lot for us. The dexterity will help overcome the shield penalties. The int will help give us spell power and spell success. Our other option is a +5 rapier, and it's speed branded with 3 dexterity. So that's definitely a damage upgrade for us, and it basically means that we can get to min delay without spending any additional skill. So if we thought that we were going to do short blade some more, this would be a great one to wear. And the ring that we found, Resist Fire and 4 Slaying, for any character that's in melee, that's a fantastic ring, because Resist Fire is one of the more important resists. We haven't found very many good rings. But this Kite Shield, since we haven't found a whole lot of high-level spells, like we don't have Firestorm, we're going to go ahead and get that. So let's go ahead and shatter the chains on our buckler. And here's the thing that's, we should maybe like find another Kite Shield so that we don't have to destroy and get contaminated. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back to layer 5, because there was a Kite Shield here. And so let's see what it does. We're at 24 EV. Our spell success is pretty good, except for Summon Forest. And we put on the Kite Shield. We get 11 shield rating. And our spell success is still good. Summon Forest is out of reach. But we could put some experience into it, and that'd be no big deal. So we're going to have 6 extra shield ratings, so we'll be at 22 evasion. What were we at? 24 evasion. Alright. Yes, this is a no-brainer. We're going to wear this Baller Shield. Our evasion actually went up. We got better spell success on Summon Forest. And we got an extra die of damage on Starburst. Sorry, each of our 6 die got 1 larger. So that's pretty good. Looks like Hailstorm is a little closer to max spell power. Yeah. So we're just gonna hope for a good curse from Ash and Zari. If we don't get a good curse, that's alright. We'll just keep waiting. And if we don't get a good curse, we're going to consider destroying our willpower ring and putting on perhaps some other ring. Perhaps. We really haven't found a whole lot. We also got to consider our boots. We're not really ready to switch those yet. Alright, so let's go back to the spider nest. Because we have 2 more rooms to clear, and then we have to decide whether we're going to go all the way to Spider 4 or not. We're kind of at that stage that we're going to have to go after a room. We don't have many other places to go. We could clear the last level of the dungeon, or we could try going back to the Elven halls, or we could clear Swamp. So I think we're still on a good path. Steel Barbed Worm, got the stab, nice. Potion of Resistance, nice. Alright, well let's go down to Spider 4. No timed portals. A decent amount of enemies all around us. But there's walls between us, mostly. Emperor Scorpion that we'd really rather avoid, so let's pick another staircase. Let's pick this one. Alright, so this is the one that was kind of near us. Allows us to check out the surrounding area a little more. Looks pretty safe, actually, to come down here and start trying to kill stuff. You're hoping that the Emperor Scorpion was here so that we could spam spells and try to kill it. So there's at least a Sun Moth. Can't really stab it, unfortunately. I also cast Energy Bolt 3d20. You would like to stab it? Oh, it's sauce. Well, that's how it is. So we're doing some damage on it with the melee. We kind of got lucky. We do have a high amount of evasion. Not high. It's an okay amount. All right. So here's the Emperor Scorpion. So we're not knocking it back at all. Alright, we gotta retreat. We did kill it, and then the good thing about Starburst is that we also killed the orb spider that came to say, what's up. We found a leather armor with evocable blink. Not really any use for it. Alright, another orb spider down. We do have a Culisivora chasing us. And we're still just kind of making our way, hopefully, into safety. Knowing that we also do not have resist poison, so we really can't afford to be fighting many enemies at the same time. Alright. So the fact that these icons weren't the Ashinzari emoji style, emoticon style icons, it was the silhouette of an invisible person icon. Makes me think that we had a pack of ghost moths up there. And that's pretty dangerous. It's pretty dangerous. We have since found a potion of heal wounds, which is good because we used our last one earlier. Yeah, it would make sense that there's a big pack of ghost moths here. Plus 11 broad axe that has flying, stealth, and 7 strength, and drain brand. Broad axe is the best one-handed axe that you can find. I guess it's a hand and a half axe because it's two-handed for a kobold. So that's straight out for us. Not that we probably would have switched to an axe, but sometimes you just never know. Alright, the fact that these ice spells always hit makes them pretty strong against melee and other enemies that maybe tend to dodge. So we're going to cast Fulminant Prism, back up twice, Hailstorm. How much damage are we going to do with Freeze? Not much. So we need Ramparts, we need Mystic Blast. I was kind of hoping that Mystic Blast would be pushing enemies back more often. I wonder why it's not. Alright, so we're still just killing enemies. Wow, the game prompted us whether or not we wanted to cast Hailstorm near our imp. It did not prompt us for Starburst. It's interesting. Fire Dragon Scales, not something for us. So we're getting some good exploration done. The central vault that has the rune in it is definitely a Ghost Moth vault. So that's going to be a little tricky. To say the least. And we'll have our chance to say the most. Hopefully we'll get the last word. Yeah, it'd be really, really nice to find mana regen. We played with mana regen on our most recent character, which was... Did we really? As Mothglove, did we get mana regen? We must have. Anyways, the mana regen is actually quite strong. The plus 11 broad axe. Alright, let's put this as an excluded area, and then we'll auto-explore kinda all around. And hopefully that maximizes our chances of not splatting. Wow, so that time Mystic Blast pushed them back a really long way, actually out of the range of Frozen Ramparts. Getting more spellcasting, getting more mana. We'll keep our shields on. We'll probably stop dodging soon. We're like actually still getting evasion. Hey, ranged combatant elements. Ranged weapons throwing, and then we get fire, ice, air, and earth. That is pretty good, but unfortunately, I don't think it's good enough. Well, let's think about it. Let's think about it. Like, what really would be better? Like, we get the elements, and the elements will undoubtedly help us. It's just that ranged combat just doesn't help us at all. What we could do is we could break our willpower ring. Let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll just keep exploring. I think Ashen Zari will replace our curse eventually. I think we can be safe. So we already checked. We'll check again. We do have See and Viz. There are those ghost moths. We do not have apportation. Yeah, so if I remember right, this vault also potentially has moths of wrath. So we see a Scarf of Repulsion. Yep, there's the Moth of Wrath. Ambrosia, Culisavoras. A hat that's not for us. We do have Evocable Invisibility. Greetings, Wizard Ike. And I wonder what this big scary enemy is. Greetings, said no one. I don't know what that big scary enemy is. This is going to be a tough vault either way. I guess it could be a named unique of some sort. The other thing that sucks is that these spiders are pretty fast. So if we wake up the Culisavora and try to run, we could get boned. But we have pretty high stealth, so it's the safest option. It's better to pull this pack as opposed to going around the other side and engaging potentially a much larger pack. Our last character was a kobold. That was a kobold monk of Makleb. And then before that was a kobold transmuter of Gozag. So it's our third kobold in a row. And then before that we had a run of 3 transmuters, because we won the Draconian Transmuter, the Demigod Transmuter, and then we won the Kobold Transmuter. We followed it up with the Kobold Monk. So this is our next one. So we're far enough away that I think it's safe. We can start making some noise. I also wanted to use Hailstorm instead of Starburst. It's a little quieter, but importantly, it takes less mana, And we don't really want to burn all of our mana right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and pick off this Tarantella that was wandering around. But we want to go back to the entrance of this vault and check out the other side and make sure that we don't have enemies kind of creeping up this other side. And we don't want to fight on this side too much because there's an alarm trap. So the wolf spider is still asleep. It's probably a big old pack of enemies right there. So they're asleep, which is good. We can finally get this Tarantella. And then our mana will probably regen by the time we get back. So this kobold very nearly died. We had some pretty poor playing the other day. We nearly died in a whiz lab that we joined on the Elven halls, and then we also nearly died in the Elven halls. Alright, so this is looking a little scary. Because if we pull this red back, yep, it's Arachne. And we don't have any poison resist. So we don't have File of Floods. Yeah, I read that Ashen Zari no longer gives you Astral Sight. Does Ashen Zari give you any scrying? Because it used to be you got scrying and then you had an ability you could cast that would give you Astral Sight. Whoa. Well, I'm really glad that we're playing Ashen Zari. Because this is our first time playing Ashen Zari, I believe, with the new curse system. The new Ashen Zari curses, I'll say. So we actually have a pretty good chance at paralyzing Arachne. That's a thought. We could also read a scroll of vulnerability. That's an idea. So let's do that. Let's read the scroll of vulnerability. Yes. Now we have 70% chance of paralyze, which we failed on, unfortunately. So let's box of beasts. Let's try to paralyze Arachne. 1, 2, dead. Nice. Tarantella, dead. Nice. And let's go ahead and get unpoisoned. And even though we probably don't have to run super far away, we're going to run pretty far away. Alright, so we're back up to full. Oh, well, if you still get the sensing of the monsters, that's pretty good. Being able to see exactly what they are and being able to see exactly what the items are is pretty stinking powerful. I guess the one thing that we haven't considered is that we have pretty decent chance at hibernating a scorpion, but we'll spend the same number of turns casting a Starburst over and over, so we may as well kill it at the expense of spending some more mana, because we're probably going to have to spend 3 or 4 turns trying to hibernate it. I didn't realize Ashen Zari was considered so powerful. I do really like the idea that you get these curses offered to you instead of having to play the game of how many scrolls of remove curse am I going to be lucky enough to find. So I'm definitely in the school when you're fighting ghost moths, so just kind of throw everything you have at them right at the beginning, because you can't really count on keeping your mana. We have no hope of killing an Emperor Scorpion without mana, so let's make sure to get out. It would be nice to be able to kill that Wandering Emperor Scorpion. I also don't trust this redback to not step on the alarm trap. Okay. So 1 Emperor Scorpion, please not be 2. Alright, well one of them saw us. Oh no, it's a Moth of Wrath. Come on, one shot it with Hailstorm? Nope. Well, at least we did get it down before the Emperor Scorpion got berserked. Alright, well, we've gotten pretty lucky so far. The vulnerability and paralyze on Arachne worked out pretty well. Arachne did get some damage off on us, and of course they would, because we don't have any resist poison. And it's a little dangerous to be stepping through these webs, but we don't really have a choice. I mean, we do, we can go the other way. That's what we're going to try and do with the Scorpion. Let's see if we can bait it to sit on the water. Well, that's not what we want at all. Alright, Condenser Vein it is. And that worked out great. No lie, that worked out great. So we're just gonna cast some freeze on this Scorpion. Alright, now we'll Starburst since we can hit both of them. And somehow these Cloud Flames are not doing that much damage. We have a pretty good chance at Mind Burst. Not so much on the Ghost Moth, so we're going to stab it while it sits in the fire clouds. There's that Steel Barb Worm. Okay, so it's not even coming up at us yet. Now, one of the changes, it used to be that these clouds would persist outside of your line of sight, but as soon as we go around this corner, the Steel Barb Worm is going to start chasing us, so we may as well try and attack it from range. And we're going to use our Mind Burst wand. Man, we almost killed it too. I guess this is a new Steel Barb Worm. Yep. Man, what a waste. It's probably going to regen all of its health too. It would have been suicide to rush in now. We still have, like, lots of ghost moths. And by lots, I mean 1, maybe 2. Our turn count is pretty bad. All the resting with the mana. Alright. So how can we get this ghost moth killed before it takes all our mana? Rainforks and Starburst. Alright, picking up the loot. Another heal wounds. Some ambrosia. A hat that we're not going to wear. That's our first rune. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, so while we haven't found any better rings, let's go ahead and take a peek in Swamp. Because we have no lost opportunity cost with the Ring of Flying the way our equipment is looking right now. So, relatively speaking, it's a good time to go. But first, we go to the lair. Do we have anything in the swamp to clean up? We do have an exclusion on one of the downstairs. Looks like we cleared Swamp 2. Alright, so let's take the exclusion out. Let's go down Swamp 3. Nothing on Swamp 3. Alright, so let's go down Swamp 4. So we've went down both of the other staircases, and it looks like this one is probably the closest to the rune vault, which means we're going to run away and go down another one. Just kind of looks like a big island in the middle, surrounded by rock walls. This one's probably okay. Let's see if we can get the... We maybe could have gotten a stab on the swamp one. Misplayed a little. Goliath frogs, we don't have resist corrosion, so they're not really our friends. Yeah, we tried to get a stab in, but that failed. Starburst did one-shot them, though. How lucky did we get? Oh, they only have 42 HP. And Starburst right now is 60-13. Alright, so that's positive. What else do we have around the staircase? Alright, well this whole area seems pretty clear. So... we got something here. That's chainmail and 6 stones in the middle of some deep water. Okay. I won't ask the question. The rest of Swamp 4 is pretty sparse, which is kind of a bad sign. Sometimes that means that the rune vault is particularly dangerous. So, Thorn Hunters, pretty dangerous. Looks like we don't really have a good plan of attacking them besides casting Starburst and trying to get out of line of sight. Alright, Thorn Hunter. Burn terribly. They are susceptible to fire. Okay. It's been a long time since I played a fire mage, and destroying the trees in the swamp. It's a little bit of a shame. A little bit of a shame. You know, we're just kind of haven't even done an environmental study, and we're just tearing the trees down. You know, it's clearly in a riparian zone, and we're just like, yeah, we'll burn them down. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Coming to the swamp to plunder its most valuable resource, and then we'll leave, unconcerned with what lasting impact we may have caused. So, six-headed Hydra, we can probably two-shot with Starburst. Let's go ahead and freeze it first. Dang, we didn't debuff it. Okay, let's just skip to the Starburst. There's the two-shot. We have a Tyrant Leech after us. And one thing about Swamp Dragon too. Alright, so let's get some better positioning so that we have the capability of running away. I'm gonna use a curing, and we'll hailstorm the leech. Wow, it dodged their Starburst. And then we'll just make our way back to some stairs. In order to get our mana back. Yeah, it looks like there's some healthy enemy presence around. There's another Hydra, which Starburst and a Hailstorm took care of. So let's keep an eye when our dodging goes up if we're going to get any extra evasion. I'm honestly surprised that we kept getting the evasion. So this might be the limit. Okay. Luckily, we can hit the Hydra and the Swamp Drake. Hailstorm might have been better, but then we couldn't hit all the targets we wanted. The thing about dragons is they have like a lot of HP. So we have to spend a lot of mana trying to kill them. Are the bunyips susceptible to cold? No. Okay. It's alright, Starburst is a great spell. We will cast it many more times, I'm sure. We can Hailstorm the Druid. And freeze it so it can't evade. We can have a mana battle. They heal, we freeze over and over and over again. That doesn't sound fun. So we backed ourselves into a corner, and luckily this Hydra decided that it didn't want anything to do with us. For just long enough to get our mana back. Alright, our spectral weapon really saved us from that poison breath. The Swamp Dragon right in the path of where we want to go and retreat to. So we're trying to keep our mana as much as possible. But we don't have many options when we're surrounded by enemies. And then the hydras just keep coming one after another. We could go invisible. That's probably a wise thing to do. We have evocable invisibility. It'll drain our HP down to like 100 or so, right? Oh, it only drained it down to 111. Cool, so we're invisible. And that's actually really what we wanted. So we'll hailstorm these two hydras twice, 3 times, 4th time kills them all. Get the stab on the swamp drake. And we get some stabbing on a swamp dragon. Overall, this is a pretty successful invis, and this is also the first time that we use this helmet that we found. Previously, we were just using it for its dexterity. And it's a good thing we went invisible, because there are a lot of enemies between us and the stairs. In fact, we're going to take this swamp dragon up and fight it alone. Good evening, Grailbird. So this entrance has now been opened up. So far we've seen probably half a dozen Hydra, just as many Swamp Drakes, and almost as many Swamp Dragons. We're honestly a little afraid of fighting the Lernian Hydra. But maybe we won't have to. Belrefron. Yeah. The name of our artifact rapier is circumscribed together. It's a touchy topic to circumnavigate. Depending on how incorrectly you read the word, yeah. Alright, so we're getting closer and closer to the second room here. Thorn Hunter is susceptible to fire, which is good news for us. And just gonna keep going. A book of party tricks. So I guess that's what apportation, summon small mammal, and Alistairs. Nope, just apportation and Alistairs. Alright, we're making progress on this vault. It looks like Cunning and Companions, eh? Dodging, Stealth, Summoning, and Necromancy. Nope, we're gonna wait. So there's an area outside the vault that we haven't cleared yet because we have no way of getting to it. And really the whole reason for this, it's not so much about the wandering enemies, but it's about the teleportation. If we end up getting unlucky, taking a bunch of hits and needing to run away, we don't really want to teleport next to other enemies. So, save the most dangerous stuff for last. Generally is a good way to go. Not always. And would you look at that? You just walk right in. Very nice. That's the second room. So that puts us into potentially going to the vaults, potentially finishing the dungeon, going to the Elven halls. Let's see, do we have much hope of killing the astronaut? Tons and tons of HP. But we should still probably go for it. We should be able to run away. Let's start fighting on the other side where we're not next to open area. 1, 2, 3, 4 starbursts. Sorry, Gastronaut. Right, who else do we have? We have a ruined vault on layer 4. Pretty sure that was a nasty one. Boggarts, Spriggan Riders. There's a potion of experience, though. It'd be a good use for a condenser vein. The only thing that would suck would be... You know, actually, nothing would suck. Everything would be good. Alright, so let's do it. We open it, we use our condenser vein, and we get poison clouds. So right now, we gotta check out this boggart. So we gotta cast Hailstorm. We wanna take that out. Now we're just gonna cast Starburst. And then we will... I guess we'll cast it again. The ghost is dead. And then we just wait. There's a Spriggan that was thinking about killing us, but we killed it with Hailstorm. Since we don't have resist poison, we don't really want to be going in here. We can Hailstorm the wolf. Let's get this out of our line of sight so the cloud's clear. +6 Trident. Demon's Death Toll. Resist fire, resist poison, stealth, and flame brand. That would be cool to find early in the game. Potion of experience. Nice. So what's gonna do the most benefit for us at the moment? We could get most of a level of spell casting, get slightly more mana, we get spell schools, we could go up a full level on any of our elements, we could go up a full level on dodging, and a full level on fighting. So let's do the dodging and let's see if our evasion goes up. Yeah, we're going to turn it off now. Alright, cool. So that was nice. What else do we have? Obsidian statue. What else is excluded on this level? I think we just excluded these enemies because they were red at the time when we were down here. So let's just auto-explore. Okay, so it was a Hydra. Well, we can take a Hydra. What was the other one? It was also a Hydra. Nice. So, Layer 5, we said the end vault was not cleared. That was before we had Starburst, though. Lots of... oh, this is the Spectral Elephants and the Death Yak Simulacrum. These do tons of damage. But Starburst also does a ton of damage. So how's our escape look if we go over here? Looks pretty good. Alright, let's open the doors. Come out here, you freaks. Can we please fight more than one at a time? I mean, not that we really want to get overwhelmed, but Starburst hits multiple enemies with me as well. Especially against Simulacrum. Nice. It almost looks like the range on bolt spells is no longer reduced by hitting enemies. Because we were able to hit edge of line of sight on Starburst. It could just be that Starburst has more range than our line of sight. Doesn't look like it. Okay, that's enough exploring in this one direction. It's over here. Spiny frog. Oh, they're called king toads. They used to be called spiny frogs. Wanted to make sure to kill that necromancer as soon as possible so that we avoid souls being bound. Alright. +2 robe of cold resistance. We have that available to us as well as a robe of resist fire. Right now we're just on the willpower. There's another obsidian statue guarding a +2 great mace. Very resistant to fire, so we're just going to dip. And we'll cast Starburst on these things. They will hopefully die. Confirmed they died. Spectral Anaconda. We kind of have a nice little bonus with this water. You can kind of cheese it and generate steam clouds. Lots of dire elephants. Alright, let's open the door and get on out of here. Alright, what's the term for being a little dangerous with our playstyle? Playing with fires? But we took out that pack pretty easily, mostly because we were standing in water. Alright. Now we get to go to the other part of the lair. Alright, now that we have an extra space in between us, we'll use Conjure Flame to create a little space. We'll do the same with the elephant zombie. And what we want to do is conserve our mana. And try to use as little mana as possible, just in case. It's also just a nice little test. Like this fulminant prism that we'll put down. It's only going to hit one of the elephants, but it's okay. Starburst will take care of the rest. Daddy Starburst got it. Need something dead? Just call Daddy Starburst. And we just have a lone necromancer. Okay. So, layer 5 is now cleared. We could try and take out an obsidian statue on Dungeon 14. I don't think there was anything that it was guarding that was particularly good. Oh, there's a File of Floods. I guess now we can see if we can cast a fulminant prism. Okay, so we just got hit by our own fulminant prism. That's not smart. And we kill the obsidian statue with fulminant prism, even though it's not in line of sight. We feel a bit more experienced, and the answer is yes. Nice. Great use case for fulminant prism. Thank you, fulminant prisms. Got ourselves Scroll of Amnesia, Scroll of Blinking, Resist Cold, File of Floods. You know, Lajatang if we were into that sort of thing. So we gotta drop something. Probably gonna drop a Ring of Fire. As much as we want the spell power, it's just not safe. Probably dropping Berserk Rage. Maybe dropping the Amulet of Elemental Vulnerability. That's probably the better play. Is there anything we want to forget? We could forget Summon Forest, since it's not castable for us at the moment. That would give us 11 spell levels. If we did that, that would give us room for Airstrike. I'm not sure that's really worth it. Get Azakubu's armor. Yeah, we'll just leave the Amnesia Scroll here. So Bellerophon commenting about the fulminant prisms. Poor fulminant prisms, they were born only to die. Aren't we all born to die? True, but we don't all explode. Good point. And I think this is going to be a good place to stop. We had a lot of success on this run, which is a good turnaround from the previous run that we almost died kind of twice in a span of 5 or 10 minutes. So when we next come back, we're gonna think about whether or not we're gonna do the dungeon, vaults, or whether we're gonna finish the Elven Halls. We have increased our killing power somewhat. don't really have a good way of dealing with archers and blade masters, though. If we had, for example, a big bad summoning spell, like Summon Forest, or Mana Vipers, or Monstrous Menagerie, that's something that could possibly help us. But we're not going to get that experience anytime soon. So we're going to have to consider how we're going to deal with that. And it may be that that's where vulnerability comes in. So yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll pick back up at some other point. We are still... Let me stop the recording. Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to our Kobold Hedge Wizard of Ashen'Zari. We just got 2 rooms. We're on Dungeon 14. And we're going to peek and see what's in Dungeon 15. Right now, we've got ourselves a kite shield and some decent resists, kind of average resists, not quite good. But anyhow, let's see what Dungeon 15 has for us. There's really no point trying to go after Roxanne. We're not studying Earth Magic. We probably could benefit, actually, but we already have Iron Shot. So we're just going to keep running and try to come at this from a different angle. We found the main vault that leads to the depths. But we're going to try and clear the rest of the level. Pretty empty so far. Not a great curse, so we're gonna wait. Hope for something better for our kite shield. Get that double zap in. Lots of noise, of course. Well, that's not really what we want. Yeah, we're gonna ditch this willpower robe and get a robe of resistance. That's gonna help us a bit. So let's go ahead and shatter the chains. So we're gonna have to be careful with all these slime creatures. Yeah, there's like 6 of them in there, and that orb of eyes can paralyze us. And especially now that we took that willpower robe off, we're at a little more danger. The thing that's kind of nice is that none of them can open doors, so we don't have to be particularly worried. So we got ourselves a little flame corridor here. We're going to start casting Lightning Bolt. No bounces, unfortunately. Alright, let's get our mana regen, come back up. More ugly things. Now's a good time actually to use Fulminant Prism. Alright, that worked out pretty well. We went ahead, we hit our fighting target and our shields target, but we're going to turn our shields back on because we got this kite shield. Probably we could keep going on dodging, and we're still going to get some EV from that. But let's keep working on our spell schools. We still have a ways to go for spell power on Starburst, which is our best spell at the moment. The conjuration spell casting is basically going to help everything else. And then in terms of other spells that we could get, because we're getting spell casting, it really opens it up to a lot. Iron Shot might be a good one. What's the damage like on that? 97. And Starburst right now is 60-13. Starburst is fire though, so it doesn't help us against big nasty things. So that's a good reason to get Earth Magic actually. Anyhow, let's do something dumb, and Roxanne has a lot of resistance. We're going to go ahead and cast Fulminant Prism and Searing Ray, and we're really not getting much. I mean, kind of. I mean, we're getting a little. And now we're in one-shot territory, so we're gonna rest up, take a step back, and we're just gonna repeat this. There's maybe a better spell combo, but we should maybe think about trying Starburst, but this is working out pretty okay. No mana. Hey, we got Roxanne. Nice. So that means we pick up Petrify in statue form. Statue form could be hella good. The thing that is not so good about forms, though, is that we lose all our Ashen Zari bonus. But the resistances we get are very nice. And if we do Earth Magic anyway, yeah, it's a thought. If we had Irradiate, do we have it anywhere? You know, we haven't even found it in a shop. So I think we'll just keep going on our current course. But we should probably get Iron Shot. and get Earth Magic up. Probably. Because right now, we don't really have anything to deal with an Orb of Fire. Because they're resistant to it, they're immune to electricity, so there really is nothing that we can do against them besides what we're already using, like Fulminant Prism and Searing Ray. None of those are really good enough. One thing we could do is we could go Transmutation, but I think that the Earth is probably safer. So let's go ahead and memorize Iron Shot, and I put it as I, and then call Imp, we'll have capital I. Let's pick up Earth Magic, and we'll focus that probably until about 10 at least, just to get it castable. Now let's look at our base level on things. Our base level is pretty low, honestly, but that's kind of the strategy that we've been using, which is diversify lots of skills and then use the Ashinzari skill boost. So, alright, we'll keep doing that. Alright. Fulminant Prism and Starburst took down this Obsidian Stenchu. It's not really guarding anything that we need, but we cleaned it up, took it out anyway. So, we should probably check out this Ringmail and see how good it is. It's 300 gold, but it could be pretty baller. So let's go ahead and check it out. What do we get? It is +2 Ringmail with regen. Okay, that's honestly kind of good. Artifact Scale Mail. We lose Tella, but we get Rampage, Flying, and Resist Fire. So that one's not so good. Yeah, we'd probably be better off getting a Troll Leather Armor, but because we don't have it cursed yet, at least, let's make some room in our inventory, and let's just see what happens to our spell success when we put this Ringmail on. So, Iron Shot and Summon Forest are not great, 16 and 14, but everything else is 0 or 1%. We put on the Ringmail, and then everything's 0 or 1%. Iron Shot and Summon Forest are at like 30% now. So that's interesting. 1.9 HP regen a turn. Yeah, is it worth 0.8? I don't think it's worth 0.8 a turn. If it had some other resist, or if it had a higher enchant on it, right? Because right now we're 928, and we do 1224. That's not really worth it. Not really worth it. Do we have any enchant armor with us? Can we even enchant the Robe of Resistance anymore? No. +2's the max. Yeah, so that's not great. Not great. What kind of artifact weapons do we have? Let's see, we got a +6 rapier with 3 dexterity. Okay. That would probably give us some evasion. We have this trident, which is kind of cool, but the trident's going to be two-handed. So that's not particularly helpful. The broad axe is going to be two-handed. So we'll just keep our weapon for now, since we haven't found anything better. There's a pitted broad axe, but again, that's two-handed. Let's buy this teleportation since we're here. We could rebrand our weapon, try and get something besides Spectral, but Spectral's been working out okay. Alright, well, so much for that. So where are we gonna go? We could go into the vaults, we could finish Elf. Yeah, let's do that since we're already in the Orcish Mines. And we're still flying. And we've been kind of holding on to this flying ring. We really ought to swap it out for something more, but let's wait until we get some more curses from Ashinzari. So the last time we were in Elven Halls 2, we got in a little over our heads. We have more killing power now. We also have a much better shield, and we have somewhat better resistance. We have to be careful with electricity and corrosion. Yeah. We're gonna have to be a little careful. Alright. So, in Elven Halls 2, we're gonna explore around a bit. We got some dancing weapons. Not super keen on those, but we are gonna cast our Fulminant Prism. Yeah, that was pretty effective. We can kill things outside of our line of sight if we're careful. Yeah, very nice. So, we are now up against a Zephyrmancer. Alright. Iskandrin's Mystic Blast and Hailstorm helped us with those. These dancing weapons are usually fast, so we don't want to rush in towards them. They're going to cover ground pretty quickly. That wasn't a great position for the air elemental because of the bolt bouncing, but it worked out okay. It worked out okay. It was kind of a creepy area. What was that? Oh, that was the Wiz Lab. The one that we had to bail on. Well, that was a shame. This Dire Flail is like seriously gonna wreck our shit. if we're not careful. So, here in the Elven Halls, the main reason we're here is to try and get some good gear. It would be nice to get a better weapon. It'd be nice to get some spell books. It would even be nice to get, we don't have a Staff of Fire, but a Staff of Fire would be pretty dope. Yeah, we'll leave it with that. Alright, way to go, Fulminant Prism. It's not even at max power. 3d20. We should probably get some more hexes. And our hexes are already pretty powerful. Yeah, I always forget about how powerful Fulminant Prism is. It really has potential to be useful throughout the entire game. The fact that it takes a turn to set it up kinda sucks. But there's always going to be a trade-off. So, it's low mana, pretty good damage. Trade-offs that you guys set it up. Alright, Ash and Zari, has it been long enough? Can you give us another curse soon? I know, we didn't accept the last few you had. But we're feeling much more pious now. Promise. So we could pick up Stone Arrow, some more summon spells. We could pick up Yara's. That would be a great spell to get. Alright, let's put that on our wish list. Manifold Assault. Nice. Probably not going to use that. Probably not. Freezing Cloud. That one's nice. Put that on our wish list. Minor Magic, we have those already. And Book of the Sky, would you look at that? We can get Stormform. We could kind of just stop what we're doing and get Air Magic. Yeah, interesting. And this experience that we're putting into Fire Magic right now is... I mean, it's slowly increasing our damage with Starburst. But it's not really benefiting anything else we're doing. We're kind of just holding out and hoping that we'll get something more. So the Hall of Blades on this level is pretty big, and we're gonna skip that. And let's go back and let's the Yara's is really nice, and it has potential to help us on Elven Halls 3, both for buying souls. It would also help us against hasted and minded enemies and stuff. Alright, so let's look. Where's our nearest scroll of amnesia? Orc 2? Alright, let's go there. Let's buy it. And what are we gonna forget? We're kinda using everything, kind of. We're not really using Frozen Ramparts these days. I think Summon Forest, let's get rid of that. Since we've kind of decided to not put more into summoning and translocation, for better or worse. So let's forget that. And now that'll free up some room to get Yaras. I don't think there's anything better that we could get. Alright, so let's get Great Wizards. Volume 7. I think I said Volume 2 earlier, and that's just straight up wrong. So, we also end up getting Passage of Galubria, but we have a reduced line of sight, so I don't think that's great for us. So Yara's uses hexes and transmutation. We were just talking about boosting our hexes a little bit. So let's turn off fire magic. Let's put hexes to 14, and let's put transmutations up to 10. Same with earth magic. And we gotta go down to Elven Halls 3. Alright. We're gonna BRB.